Welcome everyone to another episode of the Adeptus Ridiculous. I'm one of your hosts, DK Diamantes, and with the help of my co-host Bricky, the more important host actually, we are going to learn about
shut up, DK.
Whoa! I'm just saying, you're the backbone. You're the one who knows everything. I'm just trying to learn some stuff here, man.
Dude, I'm Mac, but you're cheese. Without you, I'm just bland bullshit.
Aww,
Shut the fuck up. Do the intro again.
Mac, I gotta do it again?
You don't have to do it again. Just continue where you left off.
Oh man, just it.
It's over. The intro's over.
Guess what? Shy, you can use this as blooper, and also make a note. This is a Bricky blooper. I was rolling.
Whoa, this is not a blooper.
Rolling.
This is staying in. There's no way this gets to be a blooper.
Is this whole thing staying in?
It better be.
All right, then. Hey, everyone. If you enjoyed today's podcast, head over on to patreon.com/AdeptusRidiculous, where you can get tons of amazing bonus content. You can get access to our Discord. You can get blooper reels, which this might show up in, but who cares? Also, we've got amazing digital HD posters, so definitely, if you enjoyed today's podcast, head on over to patreon.com/AdeptusRidiculous. And on today's episode, I don't know what's going on. Bricky, what are we learning about today?
I really enjoy keeping this from you. I think it's actually an enjoyable thing because it adds a little bit of suspense and excitement. Because not only do you not know, like I guess the audience would know by the thumbnail.
I was really hoping you were gonna be like, you don't know, but also I don't know. I'm making
Shy is gonna
right
tell
now.
us.
Yeah, Shy's gonna tell us in the chat right now. What are we doing today?
We are doing actually the first of a 3-part series.
Oh.
This is going to be something that I've wanted to do for a long time. We are covering the fall of CADIA. However, in order to properly set up the fall of CADIA, there are 3 separate parts we need to get done. The first one, which is today's episode, is going to be on the Luna Wolves, also known as the Sons of HORUS, and Horus Lupercal himself, only a little bit though, because we know the gist of what Horus did, so it's just very slight amounts of Horus. And then next week we'll be covering Abaddon or Abaddon, I really don't care, the Despoiler and the Black Legion, which is what Horus's group turns into. And because the fall of CADIA was Abaddon's 13th Black Crusade, so we'll be covering his crusades in the next episode. But for this episode, it's a little bit of backstory, it's a little bit of understanding, it's a little bit of figuring things out. And yeah, that's the plan. But first, I have an announcement I gotta make too.
Ooh.
Merchandise has been restocked. So we got our stuff. I think I might actually be out of smalls. However, besides that, we got, I think, like another 80 or so of each size, of like medium, large, XL, 2XL, and 3XL. And we now have a hoodie variant of that too.
No kidding.
Yeah, we got a hoodie one. So there's the white shirt, and then there's a white hoodie as well. If you want it's the same design, but in hoodie form. And if you live in the US, if you spend more than $75, you get free shipping. And I think the shirt plus hoodie is over $75. So bada bing, bada boom.
Have you thought about doing inverse colors where it's a black hoodie or a black shirt with a white logo?
So yes, I know a lot of people prefer black shirts. The problem is that due to COVID and stuff, the people I get my shirts from have been out of black shirts for God knows how long, because it's the #1 most popular one. So it's just gone. It's always gone. Yes, I know a lot of people have been asking for inverse colors. I want to. I don't have the opportunity to do it.
Once you are able to, I imagine you will. Okay.
Once I can order a solid amount, absolutely. But until then, you gotta stick with white. It's fine. You guys went to, like, crazy town with it originally. I'm stoked it's restocked. So check out the description or go to orchid8.com, and under the content creator section, it is under Adeptus Ridiculous. Or better yet, if you go to adeptusridiculous.com, there also is a little link for the merch. That description, any of the websites, whatever, it shouldn't be too hard to find.
When you said I got 80 more shirts, I was like, buddy, you're going to need more than 80. But then you're like 80 per size. I was like, okay, good.
Okay, this can work.
Yeah,
I don't have 80.
Definitely work.
I don't have 80 per hoodie, but hoodies are more expensive, so I hope it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. Oh my God, we didn't mention the book club.
Oh my god, we didn't mention the book club.
Oh shit! This is called padding. This episode sucks. This episode has no flow. Yes, we are going to start the monthly book club. Every month, we are going to read or listen to on Audible a different book. And if you would like to join us for said book club, we'll have an episode. The first episode will be in early June. And the book is, DK.
It's The Infinite and the Divine.
The Infinite and the Divine. Yeah, The Infinite and the Divine. The absolutely hilarious old man nerd battle between Trazen the Infinite and Orca the Diviner of Necron worlds. So definitely give it a look at, read it, listen to it, whatever. We don't care. Be ready for it, because in a month we will be talking all about that book, and it's fucking hilarious.
It's so good so far. As far as this 3-part series is going, I'm looking forward to it, because only thing I know about Abaddon is that he's a giant loser. That's the meme that keeps getting thrown around, is that he keeps losing. I don't know how accurate that is. Luna Wolves. Ooh, I know the name has been brought up a couple times, but I think I might be confusing them with just the Space Wolves and Lehman Russ. So
those are different people. Yes.
Yeah.
Luna Wolves are Horus. Space Wolves are Lehman Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Luna Wolves are just. We'll talk about them, but they're not as flavorful because they don't last very long.
Oh no. That's good.
It's okay. It's okay. Things will be good soon, but they don't have the same like woo 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 as it used to be, which is unfortunate.
Aww. But I like whoop 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 whoop.
I tend to like whoop 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 too, but we haven't talked about whoop whoop whoop. We talked about Lehman Russ bodying Magnus, and that was the original whoop 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 whoop.
He did not he got one of his hearts punched out. I wouldn't call that bodying. It was a close fight, okay? Because Magnus didn't do anything wrong. There was Lehman Russ acted like a child.
Listen. Okay, yes. Correct. He's kind of a douche. But Horus was also like, hey, Dad says to kill him. See Magnus down there surrendering? Dad says to kill him and all of his legion. Trust me. And he's like, okay.
See, what a douchebag.
I'll be honest, Magnus was dumb because he decided to engage Lehman Russ in melee combat, also known as Lehman Russ' fucking birth womb. He was born. He was conceived on the battlefield. He fell out into a gladiatorial arena out of his mother's womb, and then immediately started bodying the tigers. Yeah. It was like, Magnus, you should have stayed at range.
Yeah, and Magnus is a great psyker too. Like, that's the Thousand Sons whole thing. Is like, hey, we're all amazing psychers. Like, why would you melee this fool? Just keep zapping him.
Yeah. But it's okay. We'll talk about that some other day. Yeah. We're talking about the Luna Wolves. Talking about this type of wolves.
Yeah.
So, talking about the Luna Wolves, this is, of course, the original group from Horus. They are the 16th Legion, if I'm not mistaken. And originally, if you go way back, because we already covered the Horus Heresy, we covered all the original foundings of the Horus Heresy. Those are some of our first 10 episodes. You can go back if you want to check them to the people listening. But the Luna Wolves started, like all legions did, with the usual Terran forces, right? But it was the first legion to recruit from non-Terran worlds, as Horus was the first Primarch found after they all got yeeted by Zinshur, whoever decided to have some fun. They recruited, so similarly to Barbarous for the Death Guard, or I feel like I'm such a bad Night Lords fan now. I'm forgetting Nostromo. Is it Nostromo? Nostromo?
That
Nostromo.
Sounds right. In my head, I'm just like Nostradamus, and I'm like, nope, wrong. That's the wrong Nostra.
What was the name of the ship in Alien?
Oh no, I couldn't tell you. I feel horrible because I love the Alien movies too.
So Nostromo is the name. So it's Nostromo is the name of that one. Isn't it Nostromo? Did Shy told me Nostromo, but I think she maybe gave me the alien ship. Alien
Google
1
it.
Ship name.
Google it.
The USS Sulaco.
Wow,
Wait, no, that's not.
Close,
no, that's not fucking it.
Yeah.
It is called a Nostromo. It is the Nostromo. Shy got it wrong. Nostromo
Okay,
was the ship in Alien 1, I believe. Or was it in
Okay.
Alien Isolation? No, it's Alien Isolation. That's what it was. Alien Isolation.
Okay, so the alien isolation ship is the Nostromo. The planet is
Wait, I think
Nostromo.
I'm wrong again. I think I'm wrong again. Hold on. Alien movie ship.
Hey,
Okay.
Shai, you're gonna have some blooper.
This is some shenanigans. Okay, yes, the original Alien movie was called the Nostromo.
Okay.
Yes, and the Night Lord's planet is Nostromo.
Ah. Okay.
I am very curious if they did this on purpose.
I mean, what about the Night Lords would relate to the alien ship, though?
The night?
But they're in
It's
in
dark in
aliens.
space?
They're in space. That's a stretch.
I know, but we have
In
Imhotep
Warframe, we
the
call that a
Stormlord.
primed reach.
Shut the. Go play Halo Reach.
Yeah, that's a
Go
Halo
back to
reach.
Go back to elementary school and read James and the Giant Reach.
I've never heard that. I kind of love it.
All right. Anyway, it's not important. Point being, Nostromo. So, unlike those planets, the original and first planet to ever have any kind of tithe for the Luna Wolves was from this hive mining world known as Sithonia. And Sithonia was eventually slumped into, as it was a hive mining world, it turned into that kind of that classic Mad Max techno-barbarian age that so many other planets turned into, because Horus was the first one found. And he was found at a pretty young age. The Horus was just found, and the Emperor took him. And there's very little early knowledge about it. So some believe that he was on Sithonia, and that is how he learned his warlike attitude from these techno-barbarian style race.
Right.
Regardless, being the first son that he found, him and the Emperor grew together a pretty heavy bond, and they actually became very, very close. It was his favorite son, and you know the Emperor is a douche, so calling him his favorite son was not that hard of a statement.
Yeah.
But regardless, his legion went under his command, and they served together for the first 30 years of the Great Crusade, obviously going around finding people. Yeah. A large amount of the Sithonians were taken to become Luna Wolves. A large amount of the actual planet was turned into like guardsmen, just, you know, the usual, well, originally the Imperial Army. But the most impressive individuals were taken, sometimes not by their will, but you know, it's the Emperor. You know how he rolls.
It happens. Yeah, it's no big deal. No big deal. Normal.
They were
it's fine.
They were instead changed into Space Marines, and they were inducted on Luna, which I'm sure you know is the name of our moon.
No way.
You play Warframe.
Yeah, it's Lua.
Is it just moon?
Thanks. It's Lua.
Oh, they changed it to Lua. That's right.
Yeah, it's not Luna. It's Lua.
Well, Luna's the real name of our moon.
My moon's just called the moon. Thanks.
Anyway, hence the name, the Luna Wolves. You get it, DK?
I get it. So they're from the moon. That's why they're Luna Wolves. All right.
Shai tells me that she heard another version where they attacked the gene cults on the moon, and then the Emperor came to fuck them up, and they were like, "We give up. Call off your wolves." And it's like, "Oh, Luna Wolves."
That's a great story for you. How'd you get your name? How'd your group get your name? You're fucking so hard that they told him to call off his wolves. But originally they were these sort of Mad Max tech barbarians from
Sithonia.
Zithonia, right. I was like, is this Nostromo? No, Nostromo was the Night Lord place. God, my planets are all fucked up now. But yeah.
Nostromo is not the Night Lord place. That's the alien shit. Nostromo is the Night Lord place.
I will fucking punch you right in the throat.
So, anyway, old cultures kind of started to seep in a little bit, kind of similar to how all the other races, chapters, legions, whatever, they all kind of had a little bit of their underculture of their planet kind of get as working with part of their Space Marine legions. Sithonia was no different. They had that techno-barbarian feel, so they actually started adorning top knots and like mohawks and things of that nature to the top of their helmets. Shai, if you look up a little bit, posted a couple of photos, and as you can see, some of them have like those like Centurion style kind of things, and they have like a top knot on it. Also, if they were ever wounded in battle by a really respected foe, they would do a scratch across their armor's eye socket, almost like a, I don't really know how, it definitely isn't like a tear tattoo, but you know,
that's
that kind of stuff.
Pretty cool. Like I can see like one of them has that scar around their eye and the sort of like red plume. That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit of interesting look to them, because and Chaos Player's gonna hate me for saying this, but the Black Legion is kind of like the Ultramarines of Chaos Space Marines. They're like the base group, the one that has the most representation, the one that's the, well, I guess maybe besides like Death Guard, but they have their own codex. They're like the very much the base Chaos Space Marine group. The Luna Wolves, I think, were the most effective of all of the Space Marine legions at the time. So there was some really nutty stuff that they had. Like, often their effectiveness in combat was so laughably high that the Imperial Army came in afterwards and basically did cleanup or just fixing things that were out of order. They're, like, normally it's you have a phalanx of Marines and a whole bunch of the Imperial Army, but it was like the Marines would just go in and then they would leave and like, job's done.
Our work here is done. That's that Tuxedo Mask meme, right? My work here is done, but you didn't do anything. Farewell.
Oh, I guess that would be that meme. I don't know those things because anime. I did jobs done because I was thinking of Warcraft 3.
Yeah, but it was such a popular meme. I figured you would have.
Oh, I know the meme. I don't know its origins.
Oh yeah, it's a Sailor Moon thing. Even though Tuxedo Mask is always saving her and never doesn't actually do nothing. But anyway, sorry.
This isn't the Tau episode.
No, this isn't the Tau episode. Sorry.
So they also had a cool little quote thing that they like to just use called how the fuck do you pronounce these things? Abathon, Abathon, Abathan, Abathan.
Yes.
Word. Basically, it was an old like word or slang for the Sithonian people, which was slicing the throat of the enemy commander. Like, you had the final commander, and then like he was gone, and he's like, this is it, and you take him by his hair and you go, and they started eventually using it as a term to signal for the end of a campaign. So when they were like, they were just done with the zone, they just reduced it to ash. They would say that was like their statement. It was like Abathon, like, we're done here. The Luna Wolves might have been the most effective of all the legions during the Great Crusade. Like, you could count on two hands the amount of losses they had in over 10,000 battles. They rarely lost.
To me, that's kind of crazy because, like, this is 40K. Like, when you go into a battle in 40K, it's not like, you know, it's not like you're going up against just like piddly little puppies. Like, it's some serious shit. So the fact that, like, you said 10,000 battles, you could count how many people they lost on one hand?
Oh, count how many battles they lost on one hand.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant how many people they lost. I was like, excuse what?
No, I mean, it's still like only losing
That's
up
still
to
impressive,
9. Yeah, that was still very impressive with just the sheer power they had. They were really ruthless. They were really effective, but the Legion also bore the same, like, charisma that their Primarch had. Like, Horus was extremely charismatic, extremely intelligent, and it was only bolstered by the closeness to the Emperor. Not only do these Luna Wolves have what is arguably the best fucking Primarch, but they also had the Emperor's favor. They had the Emperor's favorite Primarch. Horus was liked, he was powerful, and most importantly, he was persuasive.
I do recall that from the Horus Heresy episodes, you saying that he was very persuasive and that he was like best boy. I also remember the comment section being upset because I think they thought Sanguinius was best boy, but
oh boy, are we gonna discuss that now?
Only if you want to, because you're the only one with lore information here. All I know is Sanguinius has that really epic death. And I think his death triggers the Black Rage?
Hey, yo! He's
Let's
remembering
go!
shit. Let's go. We haven't even
Yeah!
done a Blood Angels episode.
Yeah, and it turns them into vampires, and that's why they have the little vials on their minis.
I'm gonna shed a tear. I raised that boy.
I'm learning, Mom.
But like, here's a picture of Horus, right? In the early days, like that dude. Look, that jawline could crack a skull.
Yes, you could cut diamond on that jaw, dude.
That was early in the Crusades, and like that's his getup. Like, you see, it has like the barbarian style to it, a little bit Romany, and also the big wolf pelt. The Luna Wolves.
Big wolf pelt is cool as fuck.
He's
dude.
cool. Horus is like a cool looking guy before he got all problematic.
Yeah,
you know,
so
if Sanguinius was so
always the eyeball thing.
Sorta, kinda, not really. I believe the original Luna Wolves logo was it was a wolf that had a crescent moon. It was a wolf head with a crescent moon in the background.
Gotcha. I was gonna say that doesn't look like a wolf in logo.
No, it doesn't. I'm actually kind of surprised. I actually don't know why he wore that eye. I'm sure someone in the comments will correct or tell me this one because I'm actually curious now. But I don't know why he had that eye in the center. Maybe there's something to do with his past in the Horus Heresy books that I don't know about. Or it's foreshadowing, who knows? Ooh. But regardless, he actually, if Sanguinius was so cool, why didn't he give Conrad Kurz a hug?
Ooh.
That's all he needed. He just needed one hug, and then he wouldn't have started putting scrotes on scrotes.
Oh, that's right. Night Lords wear flesh too, don't they? That's right.
Yep. But Horus commanded a ton of respect and loyalty from all of his brothers, and it was backed with his intelligence. Even the angriest of Primarchs, as Angron and Kurz, they would back down and ask Horus for help. They would confide in him. Like, even Conrad Kurz would be like, Horus, I'm having a bad day. Can you help me out? And Horus is like, of course, brother. What can I do for you? Like, he was a really nice guy. Horus is like, I think that they made Horus kind of a fucking like Mary Sue because they knew he had to turn to chaos. So they wanted the fact that he was the main leader of the heresy to like sink the knife that much deeper to make him like the perfect boy. And then he turns and you're like, oh God, my perfect boy.
Yep. It's a significant emotional cut, but then it's also like, oh no, he was also the strongest of us, and now we have to fight him. That's a legitimate threat. Like, that's someone that could actually topple the Imperium, right? Like, it's not like he's just some Joe Schmo that's just like, oh, whatever, let me just smush. Like, you don't just smush Horus.
No, it's very, not only is it difficult in terms of like a logistical, strategic, and military might way, but you don't want to. Like if it wasn't the Horus heresy, if it was the Mortarian heresy or the Lorgar heresy or whatever, it would sound worse. But so many people probably wouldn't have joined. It was Horus's insane persuasion to also help so many people join the cause. Like, obviously, Mortarian went a little easily because he grew a very disdain for the Emperor for killing his adoptive father. I believe Angron was actually, it's weird. I think Angron in the beginning, we haven't done World Eaters yet, so I haven't done my research, but I think he wasn't stoked on being the murdery boy. Like, he did it out of necessity, but then he also was very upset with the Emperor for something or another, and then he was like, oh, cool, I get to murder this way now. Perturabo just hated Rogel Dorn to death, so he was like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. He was jealous and a petulant man-child. Fulgrim, etc., etc. Iron Within.
Can you imagine the Lorgar heresy?
Lorgar heresy. Oh yeah, it didn't take much for Lorgar to turn either.
No, it did not. But could you imagine him trying to convince other people to like join his heretical like turn against the M? It would never work. It'd be the worst turn ever.
Lorgar bears the subtlety of Rogel Dorn. Rogel Dorn is the human equivalent of putting the cube into the triangle slot from a kid's toy.
That's a great description.
I give Rogel Dorn a lot of shit. Rogel Dorn is actually pretty cool, but oh my God, It's like, Conrad Curris, I'm having horrible nightmares and I'm so sad and I'm crying. Fulgrim, please help me. It's like, don't worry, I'll go get Doran. Doran's like, what's that bitch crying about? I'll give him something to cry about.
Oh no, Rogel. Oh no.
God damn it, Rogel.
But
even Rogel would go to Horus to really solidify it. Even Rogel would go to Horus and be like, hey man, I need help. He'd never admit it. But even him, like, Horus was so well loved. Anyway, with all this time, eventually there was, and you know, it wouldn't be an episode of That's Ridiculous without Bricky doing a quote randomly.
Let's go.
Let's go. Quote, you are like a sun, and together we have all but conquered the galaxy. Now the time has come for me to retire to Terra. My work as a soldier is done, and now passes to you, for I have great tasks to perform in my earthly sanctum. I name you War Master, and from this day forth, all of my armies and generals shall take orders from you, as if the words came from mine own mouth. But words of caution I have for you, for your brother Primarchs are strong of will, of thought, and of action. Do not seek to change them, but use their particular strengths well. You have much work to do, for there will still be many worlds to liberate, many peoples to rescue. My trust is with you. Hail Horus, hail the War Master. Quote from the Emperor of Mankind.
Oof.
And
in hindsight, that's like warning him about the Primarchs and how strong they are, and don't try to change them. In hindsight, it's like, yeah, about that.
yeah, that oof. So this was right after something called the Triumph of Ulunor, which was the largest Imperium versus Orc battle at the time. And it was a huge a gigantic Orc battle going on here. And after this giant triumph, the defeat of the Orcs, Horus was then given the title of War Master, which he originally declined because he did not want to see himself above his brothers. And he did not see himself above his brothers.
Oh, what a good boy.
I know, right? He's so nice.
Boy. What a nice boy.
But with the Emperor's departure, of course, and not telling anyone what happened, the seeds of both jealousy and mistreatment began to fester a little bit. And a lot of the other brothers, even though like Horus was the best decision for War Master, they were still upset. They were still like, why him? I mean, not all of them were like, why him? A lot of them, I think, were generally like, yeah, probably the right choice, but what the fuck, Dad? Like, what the shit? Because, like, not only are you giving him War Master, but you obviously gave him preferential treatment, too.
Oh, well, that is true. I mean, he's the first son. He's obviously better. It's kind of hard not to.
I mean, based on the way he's been acting, he sure as shit seems like he was better. But, man, you just had to give Kurz a hug. For God's sake.
So who were the ones that thought that they were like maybe a better choice? Did anybody think that they were like, oh, it should have been me? It should have been me.
I'm pretty sure Dorn and Gilliman probably thought that. Because
fuck Gilliman though, right?
Okay, dude,
son of a bitch.
Take Gilliman and put him next to Rogel Dorn, and Gilliman looks like a saint. All right.
That's okay, fair. That's
all right.
You're right.
Gilliman's fine. We've been over this, DK. Gilliman is pretty cool. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's the Ultramarines in their own right. There's a little bit of favoritism and all, but Gilliman I think was a little salty. Dorn was definitely, I think Perturabo maybe a little bit, but he's upset about everything. He's got such a fucking stick up his ass. Perturabo was like opposite Rogel Dorn. They're both just assholes. Sorry, Iron Warrior fans. Iron within, iron without, iron hands. Fuck you.
Can you imagine if Rogel Dorn was the War Master?
He'd probably do a good job, but he would probably be like, civilian casualties. Geneva Convention was outlawed years ago. Whatever. Boop.
Boop. Yeah.
Boop.
Bad. I think some more than a few bad decisions would be made with Rogel Dorn as War Master.
It would. When we talk about your Imperial Fist, we can describe this a little bit better. But after this, of course, then we began the events of the heresy. As a refresher for those who are not entirely familiar, if you remember, Horus and his boys found a little organization. They had a fancy knife. Erebus stole the knife. They were like, you stole our knife! They fought each other.
Erebus.
Had to kill all of them. Then later on, Horus was upset with this and all that. Eventually, when fighting Nurgle? I don't remember. But he was then shanked with this exact same knife, and he was like, oh my god. Yep. Then Erebus and the boys were like, don't worry, we can heal you with this psychic treatment. Psychic treatment, sees the future,
Doesn't like it.
Doesn't like it. Emperor, bad choice, now heresy, went to chaos.
Yep.
That is the extremely abridged version.
You should go watch our other videos on the Horus Heresy if you want a more in-depth course on the Horus
Which are
Heresy.
Extremely abridged compared to the big thing itself.
Yeah, it's still kind of abridged, but it's a lot more in-depth than what we just said.
Than this one. Yeah. Now, post-heresy, the Luna Wolves were then changed in name. They actually became something called the Sons of Horus. It was before the heresy, I think, technically, but it was like, it was a weird time frame. Basically, it was after being known as War Master. That's right. The main important thing. Is it may not have been right after he got shanked and turned chaos, but that's not really the point. Point being, they've renamed to the Sons of Horus.
Makes sense. Okay.
And they changed up their logo too. They have a bit of an eye now, very similar to the eye you see right there with our boy Horus.
Yeah.
So the actual, it's a little bit different of colored eye. It's got a little bit more of a, it's less spiky. It's just got a singular downward arrow instead that kind of looks like the pupil.
Yeah, I guess they probably wouldn't want to be called the Luna Wolves anymore, with a name that implies that they're very subservient to the Emperor and that they're his like attack wolves. I suppose you probably want to change that up if you're, heresying. If you're being heretical towards the Emperor.
Well, when you're heresying decently well, the Sons of Horus, of course, it makes more sense because if Horus is going to be their War Master and their like new guy they're going to follow, you would assume that they would probably want to change up their name to reflect that, to be like, no, we're going to go by the new leader, the new lord, and that's going to be our good man, Horus.
Right. He's a good boy.
Shai says, it's literally why Angron changed his Legion name from the Warhounds to the World Eaters, because I ain't no one's dog, dad.
Wow. All right.
I guess that makes sense. Though, I guess it also makes sense, too, because the Space Wolves are known as being arguably the most loyal faction, because they're the hounds of the Emperor. They're the wolves. They're the dogs. The dogs are loyal.
Attack dogs, yeah.
Yeah, extremely loyal attack dogs of the Emperor. So, yeah, Angron was like, no, I will not be your attack hounds. I'm the World Eaters, because I decided to choose the second edgiest fucking name around, right behind the Night Lords.
That's true. Well, yeah, I guess Night Lords would be a little more edgy than World Eaters. World Eaters is up there, though.
It's pretty up there. Ironic that Fulgrim decided to keep the name of the Emperor's children for his, even though he's heresy.
Maybe it's sort of like that, that extra twist of the knife. It's like, oh, hey, look, we're the Emperor's children, and we fucking hate him, and we want to kill him. It's like it's like a bad joke, right?
It's like a bad joke.
Look how bad of a dad you are. Even your children want to kill you, right?
That makes sense. I don't believe you, though. Emperor's children even scream for the emperors while murdering loyalists as a meme. Oh, so it is that. Wait, is it actually because of the joke? That
I love that. Love that. We need to do an episode on the Emperor's children now, dude.
Holy shit! I had no idea.
An episode on these chads.
Oh my god. For the Emperor, now used as a mockery of the Imperial forces after the Horus Heresy.
That's great.
Holy shit, I had no clue. Emperor's children are the Slaneshi ones, too.
Oh, man. I might have just become an Emperor's Children fan.
Well, you get to have Primarch Fulgrim, who is 1, hot, 2, a snake, 3, still alive and might get a model, who knows.
Ooh, snake demon. I was about to call him a Primarch. He was a Primarch. He's not.
No, that's what it's called.
Does he still count?
It's called a Demon Primarch.
Demon Primarch. Okay, I was going to say Demon Primarch sounds right, but...
I would kill for a Fulgrim model. I would kill everyone in this room, which is just me. I'd kill myself for a Fulgrim model.
Get Pebble out of the room. Don't hurt Pebble.
I won't hurt Pebble. He's okay.
Okay, good. But yeah, Fulgrim.
Back to Horus, because we're off topic again. This is our most back and forth episode ever, but the problem is that the Luna Wolves. Okay, well, a couple of things. One, Shai wanted this episode to be shorter because last episode we went a long time. And
yeah, we did.
This episode, the Luna Wolves and just the early findings of Horus are very because they did that thing where they're like, oh, there's not a whole lot of lore in the backstory. Then I'm like, I don't get to talk about all that cool stuff like Barbarous and shit. But post Heresy, we all know what happened. Everything went crazy. Chaos, Sons of Horus. Horus went up, he didn't get bodied. There was a decent fight going on, but then eventually he got slapped, died. Then in post Heresy, the Sons of Horus then fled to the Eye of Terror, as did many of the other Chaos Legions. Obviously, Mortarion fled, and he created his own like gas world or something in the Eye of Terror. Losing their Primarch, of course, was fucking devastating. Yes. And they had a real difficulty recovering because, hell, every time someone's lost a Primarch, there's like a surge of pain to everybody. The Night Lords just like lost their shit more than normal. The Iron Hands got pretty upset. Obviously, the Blood Angels. And
they lost Horus. Like, they didn't just lose, like, oh, he was an alright Primarch. He was a pretty good leader. Man, this sure sucked. They lost Horus. Like this whole episode has been about how good Horus is and how much of a badass he is. Like, losing him must have been, like, super blow. That came out. Yeah. That's not what Anyway,
huge blow. There was tons of blow. But obviously, they had a real difficulty recovering from that. And so they went to the help of every single Chaos God at once, individually pledging themselves to their powers, which is why the Black Legion, which they were then renamed, of course, as we will talk about in a moment, but that is why they are Chaos Undivided. They don't serve a particular Chaos God, they serve them all in their own right. Because at this point...
I think I remember you said, do the Chaos Gods dislike it when someone's Chaos Undivided because they want it all to themselves? They don't necessarily like someone that pledges to, like, everybody?
They're not a fan, no, but they also see it as a means to an end sometimes. The thing is that right at the end of the Horus Heresy, this is like one of the few times where Chaos work together. And at the end of this, the Sons of Horus were getting battered by other legions and by Chaos demons because all of the Chaos gods went back to their murder everyone all the time state. And so they were like, they ran in, they lost their Primarch, they fled to the Eye of Terror, and then demons and shit started attacking them because we went back to old school Chaos days. But this is something that I was a little confused about, and hopefully Shai can answer this for me or someone in the chat will. I remember in the fight against Horus, right? The Emperor just disintegrated the son of a bitch, right? Just like erased him from time or whatever. Like he bodied him so hard.
Yeah. The big yeet. Yeah.
However, I'm getting conflicting information where it says that Horus's body was recovered and was actually put in a tomb on the demon world that the Sons of Horus went to. Emperor destroyed his soul. The body remained. Okay. His soul was obliterated.
Okay.
That makes sense.
There's no chance to revive Horus because there's no soul left. It's just
well,
you're not coming back, right?
Well, speaking of that, so they put him in like a tomb or whatever, right? But in true fashion, the Emperor's children attacked them and stole the body.
Oh no! They can't even they can't even mourn
for the Emperor, yoink.
Oh boy, that's oh my god, that's so fucked up. Actually, it's the Emperor's children. It was the Emperor's favorite son turned on him for the Emperor. Yoink. Oh, that's mean. That's not nice. That's very 40K.
So don't worry, it doesn't last very long. But they stole the body from their own demon world, and Abaddon at the time. And in case we finally get to Abaddon, next week. We'll be covering Abaddon a lot more and his role in all of this. But imagine him like the Erebus or the Typhus of the group.
A motherfucker.
Yep. So he saw this as a way to step up to the plate. and he led a countercharge against the Emperor's children, and he destroyed Horus's entire body in the process, which is unfortunate.
That doesn't seem like the right thing to do.
Shai tells us that while the Emperor's children stole his body, they actually cloned him, and then Abaddon killed off the clone and blew up the original one to prove that he's cooler than Dad was.
That's a meme, right? That's not actually what happened.
That sounds pretty Abaddon, actually. He really is. He's very much like, Horus, you failed, I won't. It's like, I will be better than him mentality. So in a sense, he's ushering in a new age for his legion. Abaddon then named himself as War Master and named himself as the new War Master. And the remaining sons of Horus are now renamed to the Black Legion. And Abaddon leads them. It's a pretty cool one. And their main logo is that eye.
Okay,
that, like,
so
it's
kind
kind
of
of
eyeball. Okay.
Yeah, they have like a gold and black colored kind of vibe to them. It's much more chaosy looking though, significantly more chaosy.
Yeah, I've seen those guys. Yeah, they're Black Legion look really cool.
Yeah, they're the classic Chaos Space Marine. They're the good old normal like OG original Chaos Space Marine faction. But now Abaddon takes the Black Legion and is constantly under the title of War Master, leading them to attempt to kill off all of the, of course, tons and tons of Imperials. However, at the same time, they also, did all their multiple Black Crusades, and the most recent one, the 13th, ended with the fall of CADIA. But we will be getting to that in 2 weeks, because next week we have Abaddon and his other 12 Black Crusades. And then after that is the big 13. Other than that, that's mostly what I've got in terms of the Luna Wolves and Horus. It was definitely going to be a shorter one, even with all of our lollygagging. But it's definitely a lot more. Either Horus's early life and the early life of the Luna Wolves is entirely explained in the books, or it's kept vague purposely because it's not important, and it's a lot more about the heresy and the upbringing in his, or not the upbringing, but the working with the Emperor instead.
Right. It's not his upbringing that matters. It's what he did when he was took in by the Emperor that really matters. All that other stuff is just like, someone raised him. He had a childhood. Whatever. Inconsequential. Whatever. Here's the important stuff: the Emperor stuff, the Luna Wolf stuff, the Harris. That's the meat and potatoes of his story.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. It's called the Horus Heresy for a reason. And it does make sense that you would take all the other major factors and factions and end up making them a little bit more fleshed out, because if he's the big guy, also, there's a lot of lore on the Black Legion and Abaddon. And so I think a lot more than there is post-heresy on a lot of the other factions, the Chaos Space Marine ones, that is. So that kind of makes sense in that retrospect as well.
So Horus is 100% dead. There's no chance that Horus ever gets brought back to life through some wonky-ass 40k retcon bullshit, right? He is soul's dead. His body's been disintegrated by Abaddon. He is dead, right?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that it's GW, so you never truly know. There are people who say that Conrad Kurz is the last second before death was like his soul was transferred into a soul stone of Eldar. Mm-hmm. If that's true, that's stupid. Because like, God damn it, this isn't Marvel. Your characters can stay dead for God's sake.
Yes, they can.
If they brought Horus back, I think that would be probably one of the most egregious sins that they could possibly do.
Yeah, it seems that way. It seems like he's one of those figures that should stay dead.
If Horus ever could come back, Abaddon was like, no, I don't want to. He's going to stay dead.
He's dead. Stay dead. Okay, cool. I got you now. I'm on the same page.
You got me? Good.
I got you.
At the end of the time, like, yeah, Fabius Bile clothes him, and Fabius Bile is like,
Ooh.
Fabius
Alright,
Bile,
him.
he'll do. I mean, if there's a thing that can be cloned, he's gonna fucking clone it. It's Fabius Bile. He loves that shit. Shai,
His
would you say that
fetish is
Fabius
cloning.
Bile is the Erebus typhus of the Emperor's children? I think I'd probably argue that, because there's always that one guy. It's like you got the Primarch, and then you got like the dude that works for them in the Legion who's just a shitter. The Abaddon, Typhus, Erebus, Fabius. I do like Fabius Bile, he's cool, but I also think Typhus is fucking cool. But Typhus is just like, he's a real
How come
shitter.
they all end in Eus? Like Typhus, Erebus, Fabius. Why are they all Us's?
You cleverly ignored Abaddon in that one.
Well, no, like the douchebag secondaries, right?
Abaddonus. Is Abaddonus the sequel to Amogus?
Yes. Well, I suppose Abaddon would be an outlier, wouldn't he? That doesn't matter.
One-
It's fine. Whatever. Most of the time, it's just,
One would argue that Horus was mighty sus.
stop. End the
Horus
episode.
Among
no,
Us.
No.
Horus
stop,
Among
stop.
Us.
Shy, cut it. Shy, to end it. That's it. That's the
Nathaniel Guerra was walking around and he was like, there's an imposter among us.
AdeptusRidiculous.com.
Type sus.
You can find me at
Eris
DK Diamandis
sus.
everywhere. I think you can find him at Brig
Fabius
everywhere.
sus vile.
At Quiet, Shy, and Shallow everywhere. Oh, God.
Susquidius.
Please stop.